Every January, along with the New Year, New Me vibes, homeowners start planning their projects and renovations. But the truth is, not every upgrade results in real value. While some may add value, others may not move the needle at all, or worse, end up draining your budget. Today on Beyond the Open House, we're sitting down with Leon Williams of Renovation Sells. He's also a realtor, and he's here to discuss just that. What to fix, what to skip, and what adds real value as we move into 2026. So, Leon, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm glad I'm here to talk about this. This is very important stuff with the market that we're in. So,
yes, absolutely. So we're going to jump right into it. Tell me what got you interested in renovations, and tell me about your business.
but I grew up in a family of, carpenters and people that worked in the renovation field. So I was always around it. And once I got into real estate, doing deals and going into different houses and seeing where my clients were going to have to fix things and they didn't really necessarily like what was already in there, I said, well, there may be a niche one day if the right opportunity comes by, I may be able to get into a business venture that'll do that. And so last year I was introduced to the Renovation Sales model. We're based in Chicago, Illinois, and we're actually a franchise model, which is very unique to this space. But because I had a real estate hat, and I said, man, I could really pair this together and help, not only clients, but listing agents and buyers agents to help their clients renovate the houses the way they need them to sell or the way that they want to live in. So.
Yeah. Awesome. That's definitely a very unique model. And you bring a unique perspective to it, right? Because prior to this, you're an engineer by education and training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a totally different world. So how does your background in engineering, how does that play out when you're meeting with clients?
So the first thing is, most people think of engineers as, kind of the geeks that sit there and do mathematical, analytical,
Yeah.
No personality, all dry, that kind of stuff. But the one thing that you learn in engineering school is processes and project management. And so that has helped as far as me being able to go talk to a client to tell them kind of what the process is when you're looking at renovating your home and then how we're going to manage the project as well, time frames and what the expectation is. So from that perspective, and then just from a scientific perspective, we're changing something from one state to another state. So I'm a chemical engineer, so I'm always,
Got the reaction of
you got that reaction. So it's basically, you think about it,
Yeah.
we're adding something new and getting a new product. So
I like that. The way you put that out. You're right. You're adding something new and you're transforming this home into a new product, right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a good way to put it. So would you say that in your experience, most clients underestimate how much planning and how much goes into a simple renovation or a simple home project?
Oh, absolutely. So
Yeah.
most people watch HGTV and they're watching a renovation that
Yeah.
goes on
28 minutes.
28 minutes and, and you seeing, these experts do it. Oh, I can do this in, 20 days. So they also, they think that they can do it themselves, but they don't understand the timing, the planning, the materials and everything that goes into it, the pitfalls that can happen when you're doing a renovation project. So, you have to be kind of upfront. Our model is to try to get things done within a 2 to 3 week time frame. And
not
so,
bad.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we don't want to rush it. We're going to do quality work, but at the same time, we have to let you know it's not a, weekend warrior type deal that we're doing. So, you just got to definitely be upfront and truthful with people.
Yeah. No, that's real. I feel like you have to be more intentional with renovations in 2026 because buyers now, or at least the buyers that I'm working with, they are more informed than buyers of the past, right? Like you said, they've got HGTV. They've got social media, so they're seeing all the home projects on social media, and they've got access to pricing data. So they're going into homes now, and they're not just looking and asking about paint colors, but they want to know what resources were used in this house. Is it energy efficient? They want to know about the permits and all of that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we've got renovation costs rising, like everything else in the economy right now. So homeowners who are looking to list, they can't just afford to just make renovations blindly, right? They need to have a strategy. So in your professional opinion, what's one project or renovation that you see that constantly adds a good return on investment for a home seller when they go to list their house?
So, it's funny that you say that about all the information out there because we got that company Zillow. It also provides a lot of information that is not
Yes.
necessarily on-time information and
Okay.
all these other different things. So when you're talking to a person that's listing, they have a general idea, but, to get to the question, one thing I would say is the kitchen.
Okay.
Kitchens sell houses because you think about it, when you are listing a house, you know, nobody cares about the second bathroom that you're just gonna go and use the bathroom when you have company or
Right.
whatever, or your kid's bedroom, because you can paint those things differently. But whenever you're gonna invite anybody over, that buyer is looking at, I'm trying to entertain my company. So that
Right.
kitchen is gonna be kind of the place where,
Yeah.
a lot of the activity in a home happens. So, updated cabinets, updated, even flooring. I always tell people, look at your countertops, your backsplashes, and
Yeah.
all of that. And what's weird is you'll have people say, well, I'm just going to do my cabinets, but they don't want to touch the countertops, the backsplash, the floors. They don't want to touch, the hardware or any of
Uh-huh.
that. So then you got new cabinets that are 2026 with backsplash that's 1999. That doesn't
Right.
match,
Doesn't
right?
make sense, right?
So once you get started in the kitchen, you should completely renovate it, even the lights. So once you get started in the kitchen, that will bring value because, again, like we just talked about HGTV, everybody's doing, everybody wants that nice kitchen.
Yes.
So I would just say if you had to do one thing, one major area, it would be a good modern kitchen.
The modern kitchen. Okay.
And one other thing about that too, make sure your appliances match. You don't want stainless steel,
Yeah.
appliances, and you got a microwave that's, black.
Oh, you don't want a white refrigerator.
No, you got to make sure that all that stuff is together. So
A lot of homeowners are working with tight renovation budgets, and they start thinking, after watching HGTV, that they can just DIY some of these projects. In your experience, in your opinion, when does it make sense to DIY versus calling in a professional? And what are your views on DIY projects when it comes to you want to fix this home to put it on market?
So, your home is your most valuable resource.
Yep.
And I would say avoid DIY at all costs unless you're somebody that's actually good at, like, you actually came up and was a painter or things like that, because there's two different reasons. One, it's going to cost you more money in the end because you're not going to get the pricing that someone like myself can give you for materials and things of that nature. And we can talk about that a little bit more, but also the time, right? So I tell my kids, I'm $100 an hour. So I could be doing something else instead of me actually painting, or sanding or whatever. So you can get your time back as well. And it's going to take you longer because you don't have the expertise to be able to do those things right. So for instance, like my painters, they don't have to tape off when they paint because they paint so much that, it's a skill, it's a specialized skill. So you wanna do that. Now, talking about budget, there are options, and especially my company offers a couple where you can actually finance your project, and then you can close out the money at closing. So you never
That's a game changer.
see that, yeah. And 0%, zero payments for 6 months. That can help you out. And I know most agents can sell a house in 6 months if it's updated. So you may want to consider that instead of taking that time to actually do it yourself.
And the thing that I've seen with a lot of do-it-yourselfs is that they may look good, or decent, and then that inspection report comes back, and you start to see where some things went left.
Because like again, and it's not a knock on people trying to do things themselves. I mean, I've done things myself before I got in this business, and put toilets in and things of that nature. And then my plumbers had to come behind me and was like, "You did good, but this seal is just a little off or whatever." So it just helps if you're gonna list your home to go with a professional so that you can get the biggest return on your investment.
Now, absolutely, return on investment is what it's all about. I know we were just talking about a friend that you're helping, right, with their renovations, and you kind of had to steer him into the pros and cons of.
Right. So when the thing the conversations that I've had, and this was one I had this week. When you're a home seller, you have to look at your home as what you want to make it. You want to make it attractive for multiple buyers.
Correct.
And so the things that you like about your home is probably not what
the buyers
looking for, right? We like wood. I'm from that era. We like wooden, cabinets, and we like granite, and that dark marble. You can go in houses but nowadays the people like newer, brighter, shinier stuff. So you may have to take out that granite, no matter how much it cost you 10 years ago to put it in. You may have to go through and get you some quartz, or you may have to refresh those cabinets that you don't want to do. But those are the kind of things that help with selling, because again, what are people doing? They're going to Instagram, they're looking at TV, they're going to TikTok, and they're seeing what's out there, and they're saying, "Oh, that's what I want."
That's what I want. So as a realtor, I think that bringing you in early is the best thing to do, because you can walk through with a client, right? Whether it's a buyer, like you can walk through with a buyer and you could say like, hey, this is what this room could be. This is what this kitchen could look like, right? And like you said, a lot of the new constructions, they come at a higher price point, but you're able to go into some of these older homes and help people really see the vision, correct?
Absolutely. And just talking about new construction today is not new construction 10 years ago. Materials, a lot of builders, and I'm not going to name any names, but some of them use
don't get us in any trouble.
Right. They use true builder grade materials, which is kind of, basic stuff. And so you can get some homes that have maybe been built in the last 5 or 6 years that, just a little refresh or give you that home that you want, and it still is a new home, right? So, that is always an option, especially when you're a buyer, you got a certain budget. You want to make sure that you're able to make that home yours. And a lot of lenders are offering renovation loans.
Yeah.
So you can get with that lender, and it'll do a couple things. One, if you refresh it the right way, it's going to increase the value of that home before you even make the first payment. So, you kind of have to think about that, because we want that equity,
we want
right?
that equity. Yes, that's the whole point, right? I mean, you want to live in a nice place, of course, but let's not forget we want that equity.
Absolutely. You want that equity to go up.
Yes.
You may not like the tax bill with it, but you want that equity.
Yeah, that's part of being a Texan is that tax bill.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about trends, right? And we've seen all types of different trends. We've got the all-white kitchens, modern farmhouse, granite versus quartz. What are some trends that you feel are going out, and what are some emerging trends? And are there things that were out that you're starting to see come back and be popular again?
Flooring, we could talk about that. Let's just start from the bottom up, right? A lot of carpet is going out because carpet is hard to maintain. A lot of people nowadays, more so than when I was growing up, have pets in the house. Yes. So you got a pet. Pets have accidents. Don't care how clean you are. You got to clean something up. You got that carpet and it keeps allergens, and we have a lot of people with allergy issues. So a lot of times now, even more so going to wood, people are using what we call LVP, which is scratch resistant, water resistant, it's resistant.
Yeah, it's great if you have kids or pets.
And the price of that product has gone down so much over the years. I remember pricing some LVP back in, I think like 2020, and it was almost $6 per square foot. You can get half of that and even more, and it's quality stuff now because they know how to make it better. So I would just say that paint, anything you can do to brighten up your house. People want that bright look. You could talk about also things that make a house pop that you wouldn't even think about. The railing on the stairs.
Yes, it can age the house.
It can age a house. So you may have that wood, and I know everybody's like, man, he's beating up on wood. But that is just some of the trends. You can paint that an accent color, and it'll go directly well with some, nice colored walls. So, it may be a situation where your walls may be like a light gray or white with a gray hint. You can paint your wood blue, and it'll stand out, right? instead of replacing it all together. So, that's a couple of the things I'm seeing. Now, one thing I'm seeing that's coming back, and I had a business partner, he sent me some pictures back the late part of the summer, is wallpaper. And when he sent me the picture, I was like, whose grandmother's house are you doing? Because the wallpaper looked like the same wallpaper my grandmother had in her dining room in 1985, right? But that stuff is coming back. What they're doing with it now, instead of doing the whole house with wallpaper, a lot of times you're seeing, the walls painted and then it's being used as an accent wall.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff that's coming back as well.
Because wallpaper had a bad rap for a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff, and we remove a lot of it now, you look at some of the stuff that was back there with the flowers, and, it was kind of cute, but now it's just not what people want. So, but it can, like I say, it could provide a nice upgrade, especially. It gives it a luxury look. So you're seeing a lot of that come back as well.
Yeah, I am seeing a lot of wallpaper. It's funny you mentioned it. That's true. Well, since we're talking about trends, before I let you go, we're going to play a little game, and it is called Trend or Spend.
Okay, so let me get my glasses. I'm a little bit older than I used to be, so.
Going to show you some pictures, and if you think it's a trend that's out, you're going to say trend. But if it's something that's in that still works or it adds real value to a home, you're going to say spend, okay?
Okay.
All right, so first up, we've got what they're calling the millennial gray kitchen, which as a millennial, I take a little bit of offense to. Is it trend or spend?
That's trend.
It's trend?
Definitely trend, yeah. Everything in there is nice, new, bright, open.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Let's see. Okay, we've got the sliding barn doors. These had a moment. Are they still in?
They're in. It's just a preferable taste.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at this picture with that gray door. I would definitely not have those brown wooden floors. We would have to sand those down and give them a look to kind of match that together. But everybody has their different tastes.
Yeah, but you said barn doors. They're still.
You still see them a lot. Okay. They're still in. It's kind of a niche market as well.
Got you. All right. Let's see what's next. Okay, this is one I really love. I hope it's still in. This is the Waterfall Island.
Yes, so the Waterfall Islands are definitely in. Yeah,
okay.
They're in.
And do you think, is this something that's going to be in for a while, or will it add to resale value?
I think it'll add to resale value if it's done right, and it has to coordinate with the rest of the kitchen. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and lastly, I think we've got one more. Okay. This one I've been seeing a lot. This is like that media wall with the wood panels. Very modern. What are your thoughts on this? Is this in or is it going out?
I think it's still in.
Okay.
You'll see some of this, and you'll see some people do shiplap to kind of give it a different
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may want to look at the different colors, but yeah, that's definitely that modern look that people are looking for.
Yeah, especially I've seen this in a lot of media rooms around the DFW. Okay, awesome. Leon, it has been so great talking to you today. I think the biggest takeaway for homeowners is that they should make sure that when they're planning and executing renovations, that they speak with a professional to make sure that they're protecting their investment and their budget. If you found today's episode of Beyond the Open House helpful, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Homes by Elaine for more real estate tips, buying and selling advice, as well as behind-the-scenes real estate content. And you can follow Leon Williams on Instagram. We'll put his @ below. And also, please reach out to him for any renovation consultations and quotes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Beyond the Open House. Right.
Clear.
That was nervous.
That was cool, man.
That was cool.